Right, so I know I haven't made a video in a really long time, and I wish I could have more conversations with you guys on Skype. So if you want to Skype, message me because I'm on reading week right now and I don't have classes at all this week, and I would love to talk to you guys about anything and see how you're doing and what God's doing in your life. I kind of thought of you guys this morning when I was doing my devotions. Not really for any particular reason, but I thought it would be cool just to share with you what I was reading in Mark, because I've been going through the book of Mark. And there's a lot of stuff that Jesus actually says. I think because Mark is one of the Gospels, and that was one of the ones where there's like lots of parables. Okay, the verse that came across me uh, as something that I've just never really thought about the most was Mark 13:7, and it says, well, Jesus says, "When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be frightened. Those things must take place, but that is not yet the end." And I thought that was a really cool concept because I just connected it to the things that I'm afraid of or that I paranoid about happening. And Jesus says, well, to the people who are fearing about what's going to happen, he's saying like, yeah, those things are going to happen. And then I'm thinking, man, I'm paranoid about stuff and they're actually going to happen. And I mean, I don't think literally in my own life those things actually are going to happen, but they can happen and they might happen. And it was just reassuring to know that if they do happen, that it's not the end and that Jesus has some kind of plan for it. I just kind of imagined him saying, yeah, these terrible things you fear might happen, but fear not. Trust me, there's more to it. It's not the end. They will not destroy you, for I am with you. And I always remember Emmanuel, which means God with us. And that's kind of what I imagined, or what I kind of interpreted him meaning. It was really comforting. And then I think I've experienced, I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I've experienced a lot with people and friends in my life these days where I've worried a lot about what people are thinking of me and what they are thinking of the way that I respond to things or like the way that I do things. Uh, Maybe almost too much. Like I shouldn't. Somebody told me one time that whatever I say, if I believe that the Holy Spirit is in me, if I have Jesus, then I have to trust that the Holy Spirit is controlling what I say. I mean, I guess sometimes like Satan controls what you say. These are just things that I'm wrestling with and that I've just been thinking about recently. But anyway, so I read this verse that says, "Do not worry beforehand about what you are to say, but say whatever is given to you in that hour. For it is not you who speak, but it is the Holy Spirit." And that's Mark 13:11. And I thought that was cool because it's just like, if I have Jesus and I believe that the Holy Spirit is in me and that I have the Holy Spirit, then the Holy Spirit can speak through me. And like, I can trust Jesus to give me the words to say. Uh, I'm just gonna have to accept that I won't know how the other people interpret it, and I've been experiencing that a lot lately, just knowing that I cannot change what people think. I mean, if people are thinking something about me, and when I think about the way I'm being as a Christian, if they make a point and call me out on something that Jesus wouldn't do, then I think that's important. But if I'm just sitting here stewing all the time about people's opinions of me and how I'm behaving, or not how I'm behaving, but just, I don't know, you probably know what I mean, always worrying about what people think. Because I just find that there are some relationships in my life right now, some of my friends here who, in my house, like, it gets dramatic living with 7 girls, and one of my housemates and I are moving out next year, and that really upset one of our housemates, and she went and I think, talked to a lot of our other friends about it, and that really bothered me at first, because I was thinking, how come she didn't talk to me about that? I feel like she could have come and sorted it out with me instead of going and telling a whole bunch of people. And the other people looked at me differently, and I felt like that was unfair because they hadn't heard my side of it. But what it would have meant for me to kind of fix their opinion of me or change the way they saw me would have been for me to talk about the other person and give them my side of it. And I just don't feel like that's the right thing to do. I don't feel like it shouldn't be a competition. Like, I shouldn't worry that much about what they think of me. I mean, I'm just gonna have to accept that my friend did what she did, and those people, they might take what she said and view me differently, but that's not my heart, and that's not where my heart was when I decided I was moving out. So but that's really hard to be around people and kind of feel like there's tension because they see you differently. I mean, like, it sucks. It sucks big time because I I'm I feel like the only way for me to fix that wouldn't be respecting God in my relationship with my housemate, because I would be talking about her and saying things about her that I shouldn't say. So I just have to accept that I'm going to suck to them in order for me to respect her. And so that's something interesting. I don't know if that makes any sense. Uh, but that's what I was thinking when I was reading this. And then I came across Mark 13:13, which says, "You will be hated by all because of my name, but the one who endures to the end will be saved." Okay, I don't think I'm hated. I don't. I know and I trust Jesus in their lives that they're not gonna hate me, and I'm hoping they see there's probably more to the story. But I just thought that was interesting because he doesn't say you're gonna be hated, so do this, or he just says, yeah, you'll be hated. Yeah, they're gonna think. I see that as, yeah, they're gonna think things about you, but if you just stick through, like, for my sake, for my name, you'll be saved. I will. That's, I don't know. That's just kind of how I see it, and that's the comforting moment, is that I just have to endure, and I can't change the way people think. I mean, if, like, that's the way Jesus, if that's what Jesus would do, if that's biblical, then I can't do anything about the people who are angry or have some kind of negative opinion of me for it, because they don't really know my heart. Uh, so that was comforting. And I think you guys will probably be able to relate to this on some level, okay? Because you're in high school, and there's always drama and people saying stuff about you in high school. So that's why I kind of thought it would be cool to talk to you guys about it and just share with you guys. Uh, and then I read something cool that said, "But take heed, behold, I have told you everything in advance." And I just thought, well, we already know everything. Like, everything that he wants us to know, or everything that he wants us to understand, he's laid out for us already. Like, we have the Bible. Like, if we were missing something, then he would show it to us, or he would have put it in the Bible. So I take comfort in knowing that too. It's like, okay, it's good. I'm not going to be afraid. There's a purpose for this. There's a purpose for this. But then the other thing too, what kind of ended my devotions, was Mark 13:35-36 says, "Therefore be on alert, for you do not know when the master of the house is coming, whether in the evening, at midnight, or when the rooster crows, or in the morning, in case he should suddenly come and find you asleep." And it was cool how he said master of the house, because while I'm thinking of things that are going on in my house, that's what I read. I mean, the master of the house could come by any moment and see what's going on, or walk in when that friend of mine is telling other people about thing, like, personal things that's supposed to be between us. Uh, it's, I don't know, it's comforting to know that, yeah, I need to stick to what Jesus teaches and what Jesus says I should do, because he could come back any second and catch me doing what I'm not supposed to be doing or what I'm not supposed to be saying. So that's kind of an inspiration, just to know, okay, yeah, I got to keep doing this stuff, and I have to keep enduring the stuff that's hard that he says I'm supposed to do, because he could come back any second, and I don't want to be caught in a slip up in a moment where I've been weak and let Satan tell me that I need to be revengeful and I need to say these things because I'm angry or because I'm hurt. I need to endure and persevere. That's what our verse in Philippians says. I can do all things in Christ, through Christ who strengthens me. So that was cool. Oh, and then, okay, so this is just crazy. So as I read through Mark and was thinking about these things, I opened up my Beth Moore Bible study on David and did study on David. And today's was about revenge. And I was like, weird. I mean, I don't desire to seek revenge. I'm not looking to get back at that person. But it was a cool concept. And the verse that stuck out to me the most about David was in 1 Samuel 24:11. It says, this is when David was going into the cave to cut off Saul's robe, and David felt really bad after doing so because the Lord had told him not to do it, or he'd felt really convicted. The Holy Spirit had convicted him that even though he didn't kill Saul, he still touched Saul, and he still touched him the way the Lord told him not to do. He'd cut off the corner of his robe. So David went to Saul and said, "Look at the corner of your robe in my hand, for I cut it off, but I didn't kill you. Look and recognize that there is no evil or rebellion in me. I haven't sinned against you, even though you were hunting me down to take my life." And I just thought, okay, so this can relate to me in so many levels. I was shocked to begin with. I was like, what the heck, are you kidding me? This is what my study's on. Even though Saul was out to kill David and was taking revenge on David, David recognized when he had done something, or when he even started to do the smallest thing that was sort of revengeful back, and the Holy Spirit worked in him and brought conviction to him, because that's what it was saying, that the Holy Spirit convicts us. And the Holy Spirit is that moment of recognition where we're like, oh, I shouldn't do this. But then there is sometimes this gap between our conviction and then what we do about it. And it says that if we're close to God, that gap between conviction and then actually letting that conviction change our behavior, there's sometimes a gap in between on how long it takes us to change our behavior. Like, that reflects how close we are to God. And so I just thought, okay, so in a moment where I recognize myself kind of doing something or saying something that might lead towards revengeful behavior, how quickly am I going to let my conviction, the Holy Spirit that's working within me, how quickly am I going to be like, hey, I need to stop thinking like this right now, or I need to go and talk to this person right now before I get more angry or more revengeful. I have talked to her, by the way, so I'm just using this as an example that it was cool. It came up in my study. Yeah. So it was really cool how Jesus showed me that in my Beth Moore Bible study. And then the final thing that I ended with, which is something Beth Moore said, was David withdrew from taking the life of Saul out of respect for God, not for Saul. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is, like, I know that. That's what I feel like with my relationships with people. It's not about that person, it's about God. So I need to be acting and doing things in a way that respect God and that glorify God, and not always the person. So that's how I was thinking with my friend who's said things like, it's not about that person, it's about God. Like, I'm not gonna I'm not going to say anything to anyone because it wouldn't be respecting God in that way, because I feel convicted that I shouldn't, that I should just let it go. And I read that and I was just like, oh, okay, Jesus, you're right. You're right. And I love when I pray about something and God just swoops down and shows me exactly what to do and teaches me about how I need to be in the situation and about my heart. And that's like, man, I'm not in the dark. I'm not doing this by myself. I've got the Lord of all creators is here with this, like, for the smallest things. Like, it's not a big deal. It's just girl stuff, right? I mean, I don't know. So I was kind of wondering if you guys could relate to that and the things that might be going on in high school right now, or how your relationships are going, and if you guys are having trouble with thinking, like, worrying about what people think of you, and yeah, just wondering where you guys are at in your walks. So you can message me or post on the wall or post prayer requests, or we can Skype. I miss you guys and I'm praying for you. And I'm thinking of coming down to Berea for all of July and maybe week of August. So I want to know what week you guys are going to be there so I can come, because I just need to be at camp. I don't know how, I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know what it looks like, but I need to do camp. I feel like Jesus has told me I need to be in camp ministry and I need to be doing that. So tell me what week you guys are going to be there and hopefully I can be there too. Okay, bye sisters.